Alrighty, hi everyone. Welcome to this week's segment of the Watchlist. I am your host Dan, and I am the one that will usually give you your casual movie-going experience on if a film is worth a casual go and watch and see. To my right is my co-host Jarron. He is more of the actual general critiquer person, where he will go through and best way to put it. He's the one that'll usually go through and give you more accurate on if you liked the filmmaking, if you liked the visual effects, and things along that nature. This way you essentially get two opinions on a film that we are going out and seeing. This week we were going to go see this on Friday, we were going to review this on Friday, but we've been very busy.
A lot going on.
A lot going on. Lots of switchover stuff. A lot of people that are off.
Yep.
A lot of things along that nature. So we are bringing it to you today. We went to go and see The End of Oak Street because we did promise we would go see this.
Yes.
And this was a movie that you and I were both highly anticipated for because
very excited.
Because we went into this, and when we were going in, we were anticipating this movie. We thought this movie was going to be a very big hit or miss because we were anticipating that this could be a very essentially big stinker.
Yep. No in between.
Yeah.
No in between at all, I thought.
With that being said, let's just get right into what our thoughts were. Jarron, what did you think of The End of Oak Street?
This movie met my expectations, and honestly, it met them. I'm very happy with what this movie did, and just what I watched. I was very pleasantly surprised, and honestly, it brought you back to the summer blockbusters that you missed. Like, this should have released 2 months earlier. This should have released when Masters of the Universe released, and this would have made, I bet you, $400 million.
Yeah.
This would have made so much more money if it released in that period of time when it was kind of a lull, honestly. A little bit of a lull period. But yeah, no, this movie was awesome.
I am kind of curious to see how well this movie actually does box office-wise, because people are suckers for dinosaurs, and I feel like they usually do pretty well.
And the word of mouth on this has really been good from what I've heard so far, so I think that could really help with
average people have been liking it.
Box office.
Critics have not been liking it super well.
I've seen critics at like that 60-ish range,
which still above average depending on if you go off of mine or slightly lower if you go off of yours.
You know, I like to do like anything like above like a 65. I'd like to recommend as like, you know, I'd turn it on if it's on TV type of deal.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, this movie, like I said, I thought it was awesome. I think the one thing that you and I were talking about the most, the dinosaur design was awesome.
The dinosaur design.
It's tough word. It's tough thing to get out there.
Yeah, most of the dinosaurs in this film are essentially designed to have feathers with potentially more research coming out being along the lines of, now we believe dinosaurs had more feathers.
Yeah. And
a lot of them have feathers in this film, and the design of them is really interesting. But for those of you who may not necessarily know what The End of Oak Street is or haven't been paying attention to like the trailers, essentially it is a neighborhood that ends up mysteriously getting sucked into prehistoric times, and their entire neighborhood is essentially gets overran by dinosaurs, and that's basically the plot premise. And then they try to figure out what the heck's going on and if they can essentially get back home.
No, it really is. I mean,
and that's really the plot. It's not a very deep plot. No. This is very much if you're going in, at least in my opinion, this is very much if you're going in and you're wanting like a really deep, engaging plot, you're probably going to come out not super ecstatic. But if you're going into a film and you just want a good movie and you just want to like be like, man, I ate all my popcorn, this is a really good movie.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I think if you're, as I said earlier, with these summer blockbusters, a lot of them aren't about necessarily like the plot. It's about drawing you into a world and just getting you into that feeling again of like, we're at the movies and I'm having a good time.
Yeah.
And that's what this movie, I thought, really excelled at. Like, the opening sequence of it all, just, it puts you right into that Sandlot-esque feeling. Where I don't know if you've seen Sandlot.
I have not.
But like,
calling me out on more movies I haven't seen.
The Sandlot's like an older, like, kids movie. But, like, they have a couple scenes in that where it really brings you into, I think it was the 50s, I want to say, time period.
Yeah.
And like this movie, that opening block party sequence, it just gets you right into the 80s.
Yeah.
I just felt completely enticed. You see like a bunch of stuff just kind of nostalgia bait for 80s stuff, but like still, it gets you in there. And then, like you said, I mean, I thought the beginning was maybe a little slow.
Yeah.
Getting going, but once it got going, you get to like basically once the stuff hits the fan, it's pretty fun. It's a fun time.
See, I'm surprised you thought. I actually liked the beginning because I liked the build up that was going on in the beginning, because as they're building up, you're getting little glimpses of like, what the heck, how did that happen? And then you get another glimpse of like, okay, what's going on here? And then you get the final like, oh, okay, here's where everything's kind of like kicking off, like something weird's going on.
No. And
like throughout this entire film, you're usually, if you're looking around at all, you're usually seeing dinosaurs doing at least something. You get I don't know how many moments you get. There's like very like specific sequences where they're clearly aiming to like have the dinosaurs be like a main focus. But then there's like other parts where they're like, we want them to still be like, show them being like a threat and still show like what's going on. So you have the main actors usually roaming the streets or doing something, and you get glimpses of the dinosaurs and everything like causing mayhem in kind of like the background, which I really enjoyed.
And I enjoyed that aspect too. I think that's when it kind of started elevating for me, is when they basically introduced that. The only reason, like, I liked the opening sequence and all of that, and like basically more or less the first act. It was fine. I just wish maybe they would have introduced the dinosaurs a little earlier and started dropping a little more hints. Like you see the one first thing where you're like, they're in the backyard of the one neighbor's house, and you're like, what the heck?
Yep.
And then like she does the little like almost training montage, which I kind of liked in the library. That was pretty fun. And like that's what I'm saying. Like this whole one, like. And honestly, the more I talk about the first act, the more I'm liking it, because they set up a lot of good stuff for later on. Like, I mean, the glimpses around the house, where they're showing the picture frames that really set up characters and what they're good at and they excel at, which really makes movies. It elevates a movie 10 times when they set something up with like just a 1 second shot of a picture frame that depicts something that shows this character's good at something. And then later on, they showcase those skills. And you're like, okay, that's realistic because they showed them. And I love that type of stuff. That's that attention to detail that some of these movies that tend to be a little like more blockbustery, gimmicky movies tend to forget that. And I like that it kept those details with, I mean, the plot maybe a little thin.
Loosey-goosey,
Yeah, a little thin, a little simple. But when you have that attention to detail, and like, I mean, I guess we'll bring up probably later, is like, some of the the cinematography was also pretty cool in this. Yeah. They had some really unique camera shots.
Going back to kind of like the little teases that we were talking about earlier, where they're kind of going through and setting everything up. There is one thing, now that we're like sitting and actually like talking about the film and going over it a little bit more in depth, there is one thing that I kind of wish that they would have done, is when you get kind of like that second tease, I wish there would have been maybe like another tease or something else to indicate like, okay, there's something already around in the neighborhood, because then you can be like, oh, that's why this is there. You can tell there's something else there, and you can use that to build up to when the switch over happens. And I thought that would have been pretty interesting too.
I think maybe that's where maybe I was coming from initially, where I could have maybe elevated that initial act if you just keep like just not even showing them like we were saying, but just rustling through garbage cans. Like I mean the one
rustling through garbage cans, or there's a thing that they do a lot in this film where you see a bunch of trees just constantly move in the background.
And I love that.
You can see that.
That's a great dinosaur trope.
It is.
Trope. I love that. You just see trees moving and you're like, uh-oh, what is coming out of there?
And then when we were talking about the dinosaurs in the background, it's interesting that you and I both like that, because that's one of the complaints that I've actually seen on this movie, is people do not like that aspect because they want them more in the center of focus.
Well, no, but
and I'm like, I like seeing them doing things in the back, and I don't think that's a really strong complaint.
No, I think that's a really bad complaint, solely because of the fact that like this movie is focused on our the four main people. Well,
Yeah.
5 eventually, but the 4 main people. It's focused on them. And these dinosaurs are basically wild animals at this rate.
Yep.
Wild animals just do what they want, especially when they're at the top of the food chain. Like, they'll just wander, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
Because so many times you see, like, nowadays with a lot of dinosaur movies, it's so staged. Dinosaurs they're strategically placed to just basically fill points. These are like, we're just like doing nonchalant things. It was very, I like that. I think that's a horrible complaint.
Yeah. No, the
It's a dumb complaint.
I agree, because no, the dinosaurs in this, you can see them when they're like walking around. You'll see at the sides they're like slowly going through and they're picking off people that have died and they're just slowly eating them. Or you see pterodactyls or whatever I'm not sure what the correct dinosaur term for it is. They actually are, but we'll stick with pterodactyls because that's easier. Everyone knows what that is.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So you just see them going around and you see them just like picking people off and like picking at them like birds in the background, which is really interesting. And your main focus is usually the main cast trying to figure out like what's going on.
They're navigating. This is a movie about navigating, like, to survive. And I don't understand why people be like, oh, what the heck? Why is there a dinosaur in the background just walking around? I don't know, because it's curious that it just showed up here now.
Yeah.
It's got a bunch of smells. I mean, this isn't much of a smell. There's a Brontosaurus-esque dinosaur eating ice cream.
I forgot about this.
Like, that's dumb that we have that. No, it's not. They would be doing that. They'd be eating anything they could get their hands on because they're curious animals. I mean, like, or at least you'd assume they're curious.
You would suppose.
Like most animals, you would assume they have a general curiosity amongst them.
Yeah.
So, like I said, that's a dumb complaint. That's a dumb complaint. That's like saying the one scene where they have a heartwarming photos unnecessary. That's like saying that scene's unnecessary too.
Yeah.
Dumb complaints.
Yeah. No, I agree, because I like that aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that we have them going through and just navigating, and you see the dinosaurs essentially going through, being curious, trying to figure out like, oh, what's this? Like, they're going around and they're exploring. They're rooting through trash because they're looking for food, or they're wondering what that is. You have the Brontosaurus that is going through and eating ice cream, being like, oh, what's this stuff?
Yeah.
Like,
each dinosaur too, I'm pretty sure, now I'm thinking back on it, each dinosaur that they show in the background gets a scene.
Yeah.
Which, what more can you ask? I've a lot of complaints of Jurassic World movies where, oh, we don't get enough time with this dinosaur. Oh, we don't get enough time with that dinosaur. Each dinosaur you see, you get a scene with. What more can people be at? I think that's awesome. Like, they tease the one dinosaur getting out of the pool early on.
Yep, comes back.
Whoa. Has a huge scene later. Like, that complaint's dumb. Also, I did have the box office pulled up here.
Oh, nice. Okay, how's it doing so far?
Saying opening weekend, 47 million global total. Estimated budget of like 80 to 92. It should make its budget back.
Yeah.
Not the best opening weekend, but I mean, the issue is you have Spider-Man still absolutely
Still
destroying.
soaring, and
The Odyssey still destroying. Like, it's tough. It's tough for movies like that. I mean, even like, and then like looking at comedies, I Want Your Sex is still actually doing pretty well. If I recall, Super Troopers isn't doing that good. But,
no.
And then like One Night Only did surprisingly well. Sex Purge,
Yep.
that one did really well. Which, the reviews have been seen on that were just horrible plot.
I'm so mad that I don't know what movie you're talking about unless you call it Sex Purge now.
Yeah,
You
that's
have
how
that.
forgettable it is.
You have that ingrained in my head now.
I mean, that's the premise of it.
But where were you talking about in the film? We got
on
to
box office, and then we were talking about the dinosaurs.
Yeah, we were talking about the dinosaurs. We were at the middle point.
I mean, another thing about this movie I really liked. I thought the acting performances, besides one, there was one weaker one, but I don't know if that was maybe writing too.
Is it the one that I did not like?
Yeah, the little boy.
Yeah.
Which, kids
Kids is hard.
are hit or miss.
Kids are very hard.
It's tough. It's tough for
Now,
kid actors.
if they were going for the annoying, aggravating, incompetent child, he did great. Did awesome.
And I think they kind of were going for like
But
the weaker kid.
But man, that kid irritated me throughout this movie for quite a while.
He missed so many shots.
Yeah, he missed a lot of shots, which I will give him credit for that. But there's one scene that aggravates me even more, and it's when they're doing a countdown near the end. And at that point, I'm already sick of him. I'm like, okay, cool, here we go. And then he completely botches it, and I'm like, I almost yelled, "Are you kidding me?" At the end.
That's why I think that's how they wrote him, because like I laugh. They did that on purpose. They did that on purpose, dude. It's so funny. It's so funny. The little yelp.
I know why they did it on purpose, because they needed to have a reason to bring something else back.
No,
Which I get. I just didn't like it because that character was annoying.
They should have changed it up. They should have had it be somebody else. They should have had it be the 5th/4th person that comes along.
Yeah.
They should have had it be her. And then it's like you get a more of a decision.
Yeah.
But
I would agree with that, but I thought that was gonna happen with how reckless she was there, and I was like, oh, this is gonna backfire.
Well, I thought
it did not.
I thought somebody was gonna end up on a tree.
I mean, he did hit a tree.
Well, see, like I thought they were gonna get like impaled, and I was like, oh.
Actually,
But then I remembered it was, and then
that's a good thing to trigger into. This film is actually bloodier and more violent than I was anticipating for its rating.
No, this was, as Spielberg put it back when he made these like coming of age and like family movies. He wants to scare the kids still. Like, if you bring your kids to this, they'll maybe get scared, and that's a good thing.
Yeah,
It's a good thing to get scared.
there's two scenes I can think of in particular, and that's the one in the house, because that's a little. The scene with the one in the house, because there's one aspect there, and then there's the scene with Ewan, and I think that one will either will scare kids or be like, oh,
That's just that one is surprising.
yeah, that one caught me off guard.
Like I said, like this, that's why I kind of gave this movie like a better rating, because like it kind of surprised that like, do they? Is the ending a little cheap?
Yeah. Oh.
Sure. You can say that.
Yeah.
But then again, it's PG-13. It's a family movie. I understand why they did it, because that is how that is why the audience scores like it so much. If you make them like, where they're basically just forgotten, like that's dumb.
Yeah.
And that's also where I think this movie potentially was. The producer was J.J. Abrams, and there was a lot of earlier ties and speculation that this was going to be Cloverfield Project, which those are very, very violent movies and kind of monster terror movies. They're good movies. But people thought this was going to be like that, so that's why we were talking about that. I think some of this stuff was cut.
Yeah.
Some scenes were cut, which I think was good in the end, because the runtime of this was awesome.
I don't think you can make this movie much longer.
No.
If you make this film a lot longer, then you start to run into it's getting pretty boring or it's just kind of dragging on.
You're redoing tropes at that point.
Yeah, because like this is a really just good length film.
Quick.
The setup doesn't overstay its welcome. It's like, okay, it's nice, it's quick. You're into the film. You're into the action.
The transition to the third act's awesome.
Yep. You get
surprising.
And then you get to the ending, and then the ending is just everything is just very nicely cut. It's very just boom, boom, boom. Film is over. Mm-hmm. I think the only thing, one of my major arguments with it is I'm just not super fond of the ending, but I like everything else about this film. And I feel like ending is going to be very hit. I don't know. I feel like ending might be hit or miss for some people, depending on. But
I think with the ending, I think they went too far.
We were talking about this, and and I think I agree with it.
Which I think if we phrase it like that, people will understand what we mean. Where it's like they do one thing, and you're like, awesome. And then it goes like
even further.
And then it goes even further. Like,
and then you're like,
basically they go years in the past. They go a couple years past, and you see the aftermath of it all. And that part is the one part where it's like, maybe just stop one, like, right before that.
Yeah.
Stop right before that, and then it's like an hour, probably 35, I think, because I think that the next, it's probably like maybe an extra 4 minutes maybe. So I think it's like an hour 38 there, and I think that's perfect because, like we said, they went a little too far, which I understand. I think that's part of the reason why it got the PG-13 rating.
Yeah,
But
I can probably most likely.
And I also assume the reason it went PG-13 was solely because you assume with a PG-13 rating you can get more kids, more families into the theaters, and families are usually the target audience for theaters because they make the most money. The issue is, like we said, this movie just is released during the haymakers.
It's a really rough year in general for smaller movies.
There's going to be a lot of movies that are forgotten.
Yeah. I think this one won't be necessarily forgotten. Out of the ones that we've watched for the smaller ones, I think this one will pick up or will have like an audience or will be a film that people would want to go back and watch.
I think this one's going to be a streaming hit. This is going to be definitely a streaming hit because everybody loves Anne Hathaway and Ewan McGregor, and that's another thing. Anne Hathaway and Ewan McGregor were awesome in this.
Yeah.
They were fantastic. And I think that's a big reason why this movie was so good.
But going back to streaming hits, another film that we liked that didn't do really well box office-wise, He-Man is doing fantastic on streaming.
Granted, it's on Prime.
Yep.
Prime's kind of like Netflix sometimes where they do have the accusations of inflation of numbers. Now, I'm not accusing. I'm just saying there's accusations out there. But yeah, no, He-Man's doing really well, which I think that's kind of what they expected with that one. They knew that one was going to do well streaming wise, but I think this one, I don't know what service is going to get this. I think maybe Paramount.
I think
that's what J.J. Abrams is tied to now.
Probably.
I think it's Paramount.
Yeah, I could see Paramount.
But either way, yeah, no, this movie's going to do well once it gets to that second streaming life.
Yeah, once it's not competing with your Spider-Man, your Odyssey, and your bigger films that are making over $1 billion.
Oh yeah, no.
Like,
I mean,
it's a rough.
$2 billion.
Yeah, Spider-Man's at $2 billion now.
Spider-Man's almost halfway to $3 billion.
Is it already at almost 2.5 bill?
I'm pretty sure it is, which is just absolutely ridiculous.
People love Spider-Man. Spider-Man is Marvel's pretty much big moneymaker.
I mean, that you could argue that is the most famous superhero IP.
I believe Spider-Man is Marvel's biggest and Batman is DC's biggest.
And I think Spider-Man's probably bigger than Batman at this point, right? Solely because of how Batman hasn't had enough movies.
I would think so. I think it would probably be Spider-Man than Batman. Anything else you think we should touch on in regards to the end of Oak Street? Because I think we pretty much covered almost everything major in regards to the film without spoiling anything.
Yeah, no. I'm looking through my notes here. Like I said, I did like it. I like going back to the plot, I kind of like the Groundhog Day-esque twist. Like we said, I just wish maybe stop it a little earlier. Just a little earlier. Because the whole aspect of how it happens is interesting. And like I said, I like how they set it up where they basically, in the very opening sequence, you hear on like the radio and TV broadcast, strange things are happening out in space. What's going on? And then, boom.
That is very much you can miss it if you
Yeah, definitely be listening a little
Yeah.
bit early on because they do like talk about it a lot on the TV when they're like the kids are watching in the background, I believe, and stuff and scenes like that where it's like strange events are happening, type of deal, strange anomalies, and then it kicks in, and you're like, ooh,
And then you start getting into the
strange anomalies.
meat and potatoes of the movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this movie was good.
All
I
righty.
liked it.
Well, with that being said, we think you should go out and see it in theaters.
Yes.
It is
Definitely.
it is a very good movie. It is very fun. It's a very enjoyable flick. We think it's just all around a good time. And yeah, really, it's just a good movie to go out and
Oh,
watch. Nothing really. It's got some minor complaints with some aspects of like the overall plot and things along that nature, but for the most part, very solid movie, very enjoyable.
Yeah.
I think if you're just looking for a really good popcorn flick, you want to go watch dinosaurs.
If you have a family, go take them to see this movie. If they're a little under the age of 10, maybe get a little scared, they'll probably be fine. Take them to see the movie.
If you just want to scare them, take them anyway.
Yes. This movie is it's a good family fun movie.
And then with that being said, we will not have a movie review this Friday.
Nope.
You are gone.
Yes.
And with that, so we would be back.
Probably next Friday or Wednesday.
Prob-
Actually, I don't think Wednesday because
No, I would
the only
say.
movies coming out this weekend are we're talking about Mutiny, Jason Statham,
Yep.
and Insidious Chapter 9, 10, not 9 or 10, but it's like it's Insidious a long one.
Insidious, again.
Yes, which just
I don't know how many Insidiouses there have been,
it
but
started in 2011,
oh,
and they make one every 2 years. I'm pretty sure. Like
that's a lot of Insidious.
it's crazy how many they have. It's ridiculous. The first one wasn't even that good.
Well, you and I also aren't fans of horror usually.
Yeah, but I remember watching that as a kid, and I wasn't even. Nah, I got scared, but like, not that scary.
Yeah, but
Rose Byrne's in that. Sorry,
cutting me off.
my bad. My bad.
But yeah, we will be back to like on either Wednesday or Friday with your next movie review. So stay tuned for that. We'll ideally have a better understanding or on what we'll probably be looking at and
thinking-
reviewing on.
I'm thinking next week, when I'm back, it's gonna be the one that you and I are very excited for,
Yeah,
which is Coyote v.
Acme, which we've been waiting for a while.
The movie that was saved by Ketchup Entertainment because it was going to be written off as a tax write-off for Warner Bros. To make some money. Yeah. And you know what? Ketchup bought it, and now
It's
get to
releasing.
we get to see I was going to say the last like animated live action movie since like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but I guess like Chip and Dale. I think the movie that released on Disney Plus a couple of years ago had live action aspects, and that one wasn't that bad.
Didn't they also have a Space Jam too?
We don't talk about that. Yeah, no, don't mention that. The one I always think back of was the Brendan Fraser one, which I like.
Yes.
That's a great one.
Back in action?
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe so. Looney Tunes back in action. And if this one is just an ounce of that one, it's going to be good. And I've already seen, like, John Cena promoting this movie up the wazoo and saying that it's one of his favorite movies he's ever worked on. That alone gets me excited because he is a good actor when he's given good stuff.
Yeah, which you wouldn't think.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah.
But if you want to see good acting, watch like Suicide Squad and Peacemaker. Really good in those. Really good.
He's also in Scooby-Doo.
He is.
Yeah, he's in an animated Scooby-Doo. I think he's in the wrestling one.
I forgot about that. He's also in Bumblebee with Haley Steinfeld.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he plays the bad guy.
Did not know that. But with that being said, anything last minute you would like to add before we
See you end of
head
Oak
on?
Street. That's it. Just see it.
Yeah, I agree. Go see End of Oak Street. It's a good time.
Yep.
But with that being said, we'll see you guys on either Wednesday or Friday.